All right, welcome here to Wild&Wingless. This is episode 4. Today I've got with myself Todd Hobson. Todd, over in the States at the moment, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for giving us the time. Whereabouts are you in America at the moment?
No problem. I am in Pittsburgh, Indiana, so probably about 20 minutes northwest of Indianapolis. So if people know Joey Saldana, Brownsburg Bullet, I'm literally 5 minutes from Brownsburg. So it's a great little place. And yeah, I live in an RV. That's how my lifestyle is now. I've moved here now. So at the moment, I'm living in an RV till it gets a little cold. Then we're going to figure it out from there. But yeah, I'm going to truck around doing some racing over here in this thing and go from there.
Yeah, nice. Now, if you wouldn't mind, I've known you for a couple of years on and off, but if you could give us a brief over or history of how you started racing and to where you got to today.
So I've been brought up in a racing family. My dad's been racing, or he's been involved in it, or he's still actively racing. So Lloydie's been racing for 54 years now. He's been started in super modifieds when he was 15, so 56 then, because he's 71 in August. So yeah, he's been doing it nearly 56 years, I think, if that math checks out, or 54 years, I think. But yeah, he's been doing it a while. I was just brought up in the V8 dirt modified world, so my heroes were Tim Morse. Well, actually, Tim Morse used to beat me dad a lot, so I always used to be against Timmy, but now I really like what Tim did. Stuart Hearn, Mark Robinson, Steve Milthorpe, all them type of guys. And then as soon as we're old enough, Ebony got a go-kart when she was 8, my sister, which she still races wingless sprints. Then when I had the chance to, I was 8 as well. I got in speedway karts as well. And yeah, I ran them till I was 17. I got 3 or 4 state tiles. It was pretty competitive. We didn't have nice stuff, but we had good motors always, so that always helped. Like, we just had dirty old arrows, AX6s, I think. The dirty old AX6, and I was the fattest. I actually weigh less than I did. I weigh less now than I did when I ran juniors, so that's food for thought.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a little chubber, but yeah. Then when I was 17, when I was 16, Dad bought Peter Temby's wingless, which was Chris Temby's dad, which is the current 89 car now still. And we were meant to share it, but that never happened. Ebony wanted the car, so I always asked to drive. No, you can't drive it. You're the younger one. I think that was the excuse. But anyway, so I just said, screw it. I built my own car. I actually got a car off the Sprint Car Zone team with Daniel Beer. It was actually a Reese Baxter car. That was my first car. It still had all the Sprint Car Zone colours on it. It was a fluor orange and black and grey. So I ran that until I wadded it up in one season. I junked it at Warrnambool. Then I, pretty much built another J&J. I learned a lot about building cars by screwing them up too, because I built some horrendous race cars when I started. Not right. But anyway, you live and you learn. And then, got into Dad's dirt mod in 2018. Never was interested in dirt mods, and then I just thought, screw it, I'm going to have a go in it. And I enjoyed it. And I'm like, no one's racing it, I'll give it a go, because Ebony hurt herself in one. In, I think, 2017 or 18, she hurt herself. Yeah. Really bad. She only just really recovered. That's why she had a little on and off hiatus for a bit. She hurt her neck pretty bad in that crash. And crashing them things hurts. And I've had one just bend a Nerf bar and it winded me. I can't imagine. Car went through the side and bent the frame all the way up to the headers and all that. And that would have hurt. But anyway, that was my opportunity to run the dirt mod, even though I really wasn't terribly interested at the time. Then I enjoyed it. And then it got to the point, just during COVID, I was still running wingless dirt modifieds, bit of success. Then I decided to bite the bullet, and my goal was always to race over here. So I always wanted to race 410 non-wing sprint cars, and I'm living that dream, which is pretty cool. But I needed to have something that was light and fast, and the dirt mod's fast but heavy, wingless are light but slow, to be really honest. While they are the most competitive class in Speedway, like not arguably they are, where you don't have to spend like $1 swillion. They are. I decided to get some sponsorship together, put a 360 team together, and had Dad help out a little bit. Even Mum helped out a little bit, and I built a 360 team, ran the 360 All Stars. I would have ran the whole season, but my motor wasn't done in time because we needed to give it a freshen up. But I got to do, I think, 11 shows or 12 shows in a 360.
Yeah, right. That's good.
Yeah, and then, but I'll go back a step. 2020, 2019, I come over here first and actually slept in this shop right behind me on the couch for 5 weeks. Yeah, it wasn't rough. I loved it. I was living the dream. So I'd still do it today, which I pretty much am. A bit more AC though, but yeah. Anyway, then I helped Brian Van Meveren here in 2019, so I've gone back a step, but it sort of leads up to it. Worked pretty much my ass off on 18-hour days. Never complained once. Just loved going to the races. Loved going to all these, seeing all the USAC stars in person, and being at the same racetrack as them was pretty cool. And then was working out of the same shop as, well, this is Wingo Brothers Racing Shop, which Brian leased out of them. And then Tyler Sturgeon Racing also leased it half of this shop. And you'll see why there's 3 people usually leasing. There's not anymore, but yeah, they seen what I was doing with Tyler Sturgeon, seen what I was doing. And he said February 2020, he's like, come over and just have a few runs when you're back, like get some sponsorship together and you can have a run. So I was starting to put all that together. Then the world changed. And then, yeah, I guess we all started iRacing for years. And then, that's when I put my wing team together. That's when I had too much time to think. But I only put that team together in about a month and a half or 2 months.
Oh, really?
It was tight. But it was a buyout, and I just pretty much freshened everything and worried about the money when it came in the door later. It was a bit of a crude business model, but it got the job done. And I can't thank all my partners enough for that, for putting it on. But anyway, then that February 22, I followed up Tyler again. I'm like, he had a couple other drivers between COVID because they didn't stop over here. And he goes, I'm like, hey, is the deal still on? And he goes, yeah, look, if you can put this together, I put at least, I'm not going to say how much it was because he gave me a great deal on it. It really wasn't a lot for what it was. It just was literally to help him get to the racetrack every night and more or less put the motor rebuild together. But I just put enough funding together for 20 shows and thought, throw it all in, send it. And then that led to a pretty hit and miss, but it's as expected. Like, you're always behind over here. I hate to say it. The local guys always have that notebook, and then the national guys just have the funding and the notebook over you as well. But at all the different racetracks. But anyway, then that half successful Indiana trip. Like, I didn't tear anything up. That's a successful thing. I got the opportunity to run the DKM Easy Print 96 410. I ran pretty much that team for a bit as I could. It was tough because I was also running the Larry Fitzpatrick Autosport V2 at the time, which I should probably focus more on that, which I've gone in circles again.
I'll come back to that V2. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, that's for sure, because that's a Wingless podcast. But yeah, I got their opportunity at the end of 21 season at Golden. Was my second show. Warrnambool was my first show in April, I remember. But got to drive them for a bit, then did all my American stuff, American stuff. I've sort of lost track of my timeline. Banged my head too many times already. But yeah, so I was trying to do 410s, LSs, 360s, V8 dirt modifieds, and the Fitzpatrick Wingless in the one season in 22.
That's nuts.
Then, yeah, it was a big season. I think I got up to 40 races. And then
you got 40 races?
Easy. It was easy 40. I think it was 45 or something in the end. Plus 12 in America would have been in the mid-50s.
Wow.
And then, I was lucky enough to win the 23 Australian Wingless title at Archerfield, last ever one there. And that was a special night because, Larry puts his heart and soul, and all the Fitzpatricks put their heart and soul into their operations. So it was good to give them that result and show where that car belonged. It's a shame it didn't happen this year, but we flat out didn't put the nights together. That's as blunt as it is. I made the mistake. The car had nothing wrong with it. I've actually learned some stuff over here, just even the last few months, that would have probably prevented what happened. But
yeah, right.
This was some how they set the cars up for a tacky track here would have got me a lot better at Lismore, because we were trying some weird stuff to get in
Yeah.
my car. But
Yeah.
I was just sort of sliding across all night. Anyway, yeah, that pretty much brings us to now. Then sort of, I ran over here. I pretty much left that week. I won the Oz title. Come over here to pretty much chase it. I had no ride lined up because didn't have the funding the year before. Just the economy turned to poo a little bit, and I just thought I had a 6-month visa this time. I'll give it a go, holiday visa. Had a lot of savings, which is pretty much how I lived over here because I didn't race enough to make a living. And yeah, I ran for 5 awesome teams. I ran for the Daming 5T, which is a pretty iconic local car here. I ran for the Wingo guys once in a Tester -12 car that sort of wasn't theirs, but just call it the Wingo car. It's easy. I ran Sturgeons again a couple times. And then I ran for Tony Helton, he's from down Cloverdale, which is about an hour south of here. And yeah, he just called me up out of the blue, never met him, said, hey, jump in my car. I said, I heard you have a seat free this weekend. I'm out for work, so jump in my car. I'm like, cool. Had mixed bag results, as you'd expect. I learned a lot with motors and how different cars behave, and I have a really good toolbox for that. Then, yeah, raced over here again last year. Decided not to race a whole lot, but I wanted to race a bit more than I did. But, yeah, it is what it is. I was probably going to burn myself out if I did. But, yeah, ran for the Fitzpatricks this year, bit of dirt mod stuff. Got in a Wing 360 for the McClure family. That was a pretty cool last-minute deal. Got to run the last All-Star sprint car race and got to run a Super. That's it in a nutshell. And this year I've been running John Cedrette 44. I actually got that opportunity the year before. And we've had good speed. That thing's a hell of a motor. We did well at Eldora and all that, but just, yeah, motor issues, part failures. This silly stuff's been going wrong. Ran the Burton 04 and, yeah, in the Wingo 77 at the moment till the 44 gets back on track. And, yeah, hopefully something else comes up for sprint week, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, you've been a hired gun for a couple of years now, and you've got a decent resume behind you, which is a good thing as well. No, yeah, thanks very much for sort of touching on that. It's a very extensive resume you have there. Very impressive.
Yeah,
but I do want to break down a
is.
bit of that stuff. Like I do actually,
Sure.
we're going to break it down as we keep going. Now I'm going to start from the start. We work our way back. So you're obviously starting dirt go-karts. Yep. And then you went straight from there to wingless. Just give us an idea, because I've been around for a couple of years, and I see these young kids, and you hear stories about how great they are at dirt karts. So I'm not disputing that at all. But then when they come from a front end that's 1200 or whatever it is wide to a front end that's running, it depends if you're running 53 front axles and stuff, but it's like, man, you're going from something so small to something so big. Now you can't see those front wheels. You don't know where your parameters are. What did you feel moving to sort of that so quickly? Like,
my big thing was exactly that. Mine wasn't so much the width of the car. Everything felt so big at first. And every time I went in the corner with no suspension, I felt like I was going to roll over. Yeah. But the two things I struggled with was obviously not seeing the front wheels. And my other thing was everything ended at my feet before. And then I have like another 6 feet in front of me. Or whatever, 5 feet in front of me, whatever it is. Sorry, I'm speaking Imperial. I've just been programmed that way now.
I'm sure people have got time to work it out.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think it's 4 feet or something, close enough. But
depends. If you're driving an Andrew Series car, it's a limo, so it would be around about 6 feet. You're right. Yeah. Yeah,
and it's probably got 2 postcodes at each end because he's on there 2 off. 24 inches.
That's it. Yeah, so I mean,
another thing with wingless as well is sometimes, especially in my situation, I built my own car, so I didn't build it that great, so I had a bind in it straight away, and I was just wondering what the hell was going on. And the first race I did do was funny, and poor Ross Jarrett probably still feels bad about it to this day. He just went in and half spun. I was just minding my own business down the back, but instead of dodging the car, I closed my eyes and ran straight into him, and it bent my frame across straight away. So if you've had a worse story than that,
Wow, that's a good one.
I just ended up throwing. Lucky we have a dirt mod truck, so I threw coils on it and ran the rest of the day.
Wow. I'm shocked to hear that from you. Well done.
First heat race, yep.
So that's the secret to becoming an Australian champion.
Yep, just fender in the first lap, close your eyes.
Nice, there you go. Any kids listening, this is what you do. All right,
Yeah.
so you drove the Wingless for a bit, then you jumped into your dad's V8 dirt mod. Now, between the two, I mean, you've virtually said it before. One's got a lot of power, very heavy. The other one's very light, no power. Could you use your driving style to complement each other, or was it completely different?
Absolutely, because the weight complements the lack of power in the dirt mod. The thing with dirt mods though, they're just hard to stop, just because they are. You're going from 1,400 pounds to 2,400 pounds.
Is that how much they weigh?
And yes.
Jeez.
Yep. Yeah, they're heavy. It's
Wow.
but a hard thing as well with the dirt mods was just there's a lot of blind spots in them. Like when you're behind them in a start, and I do it in America, and I actually noticed why they don't do it here, but they have a clear Lexan spoiler on them. Because when they all jack up, you actually can't see the row in front of you. They're just completely blind.
Wow. Okay.
So there's a lot of blind spots in them, and I've got myself into trouble doing that. At Parramatta for once, and I don't really want to bring that up again. But yeah,
I was going to touch on
pretty much
Parramatta
like
and you and them. Yeah.
Yeah, probably like here and back, you can't see anything. And they're just such a big car. But
Right.
the good thing with dirt mods, you can see the front wheels. But our car's pretty similar. It's got a Jacobs ladder live axle. It just drives like a sprint car. It actually helped me a lot over here.
Yep.
But more than I expected, actually. But coil front, it's a little bit different, but it's not terribly different.
What motors they run in those ones?
Ours is a 3.6. A little bit mixed up in motors at the moment. There's an LS 525, but you can run. But ours is the open V8 dirt motor, which is a 360 steel block, steel head, carbureted. There's a flat top piston, so it's got a compression ratio rule. And really, that's pretty much it. It's pretty open other than that.
With those cars, because I think from memory, I haven't been close to many of them. I didn't want to bring up, but I remember seeing you at Parramatta driving it. But you sort of sit central, don't you?
Yes, you do.
So how do you get in and out of those things?
Everyone says I get in a wing sprint car weird because of it. You pretty much got to throw both feet in and slide in, and
right.
Daddy has to have a fat man flap. A lot of them have fat man flaps, just to lift the roof up, and you sort of jump in. But I didn't like sitting on the door because it creases my door, because then it looks silly. So I tend to try to get the core strength work. I hold the roof like this, put both feet in and slide in.
Nice.
And I get in the wing car the same, and everyone looks at me and goes, I grab the wing tree, put both feet in and slide in. Everyone's like, why do you get in like that? It's so weird. But
that's how I see a lot of people sort of getting into wing cars over here.
A lot of people get in one foot at a time, but I get in both feet.
No, just dive in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand those people that come in through the back.
Neither do I.
I
can't
think,
do that either.
Yeah, they're anyway. No,
They're
okay.
a special breed.
Yeah. So then you went from that. So then I guess I'm going to turn around and say, all right, give us a comparison. I mean, I know it's very silly. People are saying, why are you bothering? But I'm just curious. 360 sprint car to a wingless. Can you take anything from your wingless driving to the 360 at all? I know you got the big aerofoils, but can you take anything across, or is it completely one car loose, the other car is extremely sort of tight deal?
You'd be surprised. They're not. The thing is, you got to get used to straight away is the speed. Shit's happening quick.
Yeah.
Even in a 360, when I went to a 410 back to a 360, I'm like, wow, this is slow. But the thing is, stuff's happening quick. The one thing you can take over is a lot of right front feel in a V6 wingless. And the other thing is momentum. So V6, especially at places like Eastern Creek, I loved running Eastern Creek because just get it wound up. That's a big thing in wing cars. But I mean, there's more stability in wing cars. So it's actually, if you're good at using your wing, and that's the hardest thing to get your head around. When I started, you just got to forget the wheel speed and use your wing speed. So that was the big thing when I transitioned. I sort of called it driving dumb. I just usually hold the thing flat and try to keep as much air on it as possible, and tried to keep the wing speed up. Because I'd get in and park it in the center of the corner I'm slowing the tires down. And I actually watched a GoPro footage of McFadden when he ran the All-Star Challenge, and I just seen him rail it in, and I just seen the board, because he talks a lot about board. So that's how much board you use.
Yep.
And I just seen him pull the board in real quick. I'm like, holy crap. And I'm just going in right front like this. I'm like, no. So since then, and it's all got to do with shocks and balance and all that too. But watching that was my turning point to figure it out in a way. And I can't say I have figured it out because I'm not a fantastic wing racer, but I definitely fit in the crowd, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I mean you're doing all right. So I was just curious between the two. I mean, as much as people from the outside set will say, well, one's V8, one's V6. I know that one's got a wing under. I know that, but yeah.
I think if you get into, because I'm a bit funny, I hate being on the right rear. So, and that's funny coming from a dirt mod guy, but our car doesn't sit on the right rear like the others do. So, if you're a wingless guy and you love feeling the right rear, like it's wing racing is probably going to be a tricky transition.
I remember
I love feeling my left rear.
I'm jumping off my my little spill here, but I remember watching you at Goulburn when you rocked up with the V2, right?
That's the 6. So that's the.
Was that the 6? Was it?
That's the V6. So that's a different car.
All right. So you've rocked up with that, but that was a Fitzpatrick car, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's Sean's car.
Right.
That's Sean Fitzpatrick's car. Yep.
So you guys rocked
the
up.
seconds car.
And
it's like, yeah.
I've never seen it. Never seen that one with my own eyes. Sort of, I thought, okay, here he comes, and sort of, I knew you at that stage, not too well, and I just remember watching you go into that. So you come out. We're at the top pits, I think they call it at Goulburn.
Yeah.
You went down the straight, all the rest. But when you came flying into 3 for the first time, I just thought, what are we doing? Like, this Victorian's just come up here. What's he like? Your car was just buried that right rear end.
That car is buried on the right rear.
Oh, man, I sat there thinking if I tried to do that with our car, it's just gonna plow like it's not gonna work. And I'm thinking, your left front's miles. It's almost like a Jacob Jolly do, running on 3 tires.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like that in that car. It just sort of hobbles a bit. Like that's the car Temby ran at the title this year, so he actually had the 2. But yeah, that's that car. That car is ridiculous. Like it doesn't look like much, and it really probably doesn't have the nicest stuff on it. But it's, and I did my research before I come. I seen how that corner worked, and I seen how many people started having 2 bites at it. So I'm like, screw, I'm going to see what it opens. If it's got banking on the way in, I'm just going to open it up and see what it does. And it worked, because it just seemed like you're going up the hill, and you got to make that straight out of 4 as much as you can, So I really thought about it.
That was very impressive.
Yeah.
If only I could record back.
But the thing is,
saw.
There was a lot of fear in that too, because like when you go to a new, like I hadn't ran in New South Wales since I ran for Keatsy in Sydney, and ironically I hadn't raced, and I just got smoked, to be brutally honest. And I ran my own car up there once, years ago, for the title, and I was ordinary. But anyway,
I just remember that.
Yeah, when I was up there, I just was driving with fear. I'm like, I got to get away from them. They must be all over me. And then I never ran with. I always had 6-to-1 headers, not straight outs. So I always thought someone was around me on the left side of me, and like I was driving with fear, dude. Trust me.
Man, yeah, I just remember everyone just stood at the I don't know what do you want to call it, top of the hill there, just watching. We all went, wow, like that was very, very impressive, and I think it sort of made everyone think, oh. But in saying that, when the car came out for the second heat, it was a lot more toned down. So I don't know how fast you were
in traffic. So
you were very, very impressive. I don't know how fast, but extremely impressive. Look good. Now.
I enjoyed Goulburn. I think it's a cool place. They just got to shape it right. I think it'll be badass.
Okay, off topic. So Goulburn put out a post just recently where they're saying that they're going to be they're putting some more banking in.
Where though?
Well, I'm hoping it's on the
Australian tracks.
It's on the corners. I'm hoping it goes back to you raced that 86 lapper, didn't you? Were you there for that?
That's when I.
Yeah, right. So I think, and I wasn't there. I was working away. I think that was when I was working up in Darwin. But I watched it that night because I was on night shift and got paid good money to watch it. But that track that night I thought had reasonable banking because that's when we had a good track with Goulburn.
It was pretty well shaped if I remember, but they all still flatten off on top.
Yeah, I think well, I'm not sure. All I know is they're doing some work to it. I'm hoping that they're going to do some work to help the wingless or help open wheels, help racing in general. But we'll wait and see. So maybe
it's getting in the right direction.
Yeah. I want to talk about the 410s now. So you've got your non-wing, which you're racing at the moment. And now you've also done your 410 wings. So between those two, we're talking. What's this deal between two? Do you have to? Is it almost like the 360s to the wingless over here, or?
No. It feels slower, but it's definitely terrifying. Non-wing 410s absolutely terrifying.
Terrifying.
Everyone's like, And it's funny, the people who probably shouldn't be driving one are the ones pushing for them in Australia. To be brutally honest, like I think my crash at Bloomington, I thought would have scared a lot of people, but yeah, I busted my eye up pretty good in that actually, and I'm really just sort of recovering. Yeah, I haven't really told many people that.
No, I was going to say, I was wondering what happened to the Snapchats. They just went dead. I'm thinking, oh, geez, here we go.
I since that crash, I haven't even put anything on my YouTube.
Nothing. Okay, fair enough.
I have it all. I'll be honest, I've been trying to catch up since because we've been, but anyway, sort of the comparison, like wing 410s, you got to, like, everything feels like you're hitting the fast forward button, especially at Warrnambool. Even running the 410 non-wing at Eldora, I think, or even Lawrenceburg, I think wing cars at Warrnambool is the fastest thing I've ever driven in my life. Okay. That just feels so fast. In traffic and that too. And the dirty air was bad that night, I remember. And obviously dirty air is a big thing. You don't have that in these things.
No, I was going to mention that, so nothing there.
Yeah. Even 360s, you don't get them too bad just because the noses are so heavy. But yeah, the 360s still feel faster than the 410 non-wings. Right. But the best thing is you just modulate the throttle the same. That's why LSs are good. Yep. I really like the way they're going, but you're not getting that right foot feel of a 410 or anything like that. So it makes the jump it's sort of closer to wingless, but it's a little further away from 410s. You're not going to make them the same.
Well, with that, is it also, would you say, because they're looking at doing the crate motors, or we're looking at something. I don't know what we're looking at, but we're looking at something.
Yeah. Just throw some charge. Keep talking.
The V6 that we run at the moment, compared to your 410, I guess, I know obviously one, you've got 700 or so odd horsepower. Do you feel, and you made a comment about some people shouldn't be driving them, that perhaps they're trying to push for bigger motors, but do you feel that like wingless here in Australia is extremely competitive? We've already noticed that, right? We rock up to races and we're 4 wide, where as much as we've got same sort of guy winning every night, like he doesn't think he's won it until the race is over. Like, Johnny,
well, really, it's not though.
What?
It's really not. The same guy knows he's not going to win.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's extremely peak. Do you think if we brought in these V8 motors, these 410s, whatever, is that going to help or hinder? Like, I guess
410s would hinder it. I don't think our tracks could cope with 410s. Like, the reason why they get away with it over here is because, like, everyone sort of looks the other way to safety.
All right, I probably use 410 as the wrong example, but like for the V8 side, I guess. So with the V8s,
thing is, I think so. I'll weigh in on that just while we're at it, because I know we're going to do this later. But everyone's sort of going the 602, but the problem is the 602 you got to get from here. Mm-hmm. Like you could have supply shortages or anything like that, which could hamper the class. I don't know the rate they get them in. I don't know enough about them, but I know dirt mods, they struggle to get them in a lot because we run the 602 in the crate class, and I think off the bottom end, I think the V6 cars have better torque anyway, and I don't think you'll find you're going much faster.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you'll be going faster at all, actually, because you're a heavier car too. I sort of like the idea of an LS1 purely because, number one, they're trying it in New Zealand.
Yep.
Number two, because there's that 6-shooter class that runs on our rulebook. But you can just still go to the junkyard and get one, even though Moe Don't Worry's probably got one and hotted up a Camden and all that, but I suppose it's the same risk you take when you get the VN Commodore out of the wreckers too. So
it's the exact same thing. The majority of all of them have been at a McDonald's car park at a late night and hit Mang-Mangs. It's just how it is. But
it is, yeah. But I think the LS1's a better option. There's probably more parts for them. I don't know how much compression they have. I don't know, like, in terms of starting them.
Yep.
But they're a lighter motor that handle better. I don't know what you do in terms if you carburate them or EFI them, but I don't know. I think the LS platform's a bit better. Direction to go.
I'm not affiliated with anyone to be making any decisions. I'm just sitting here as, like yourself, we're just fans. We're into the game, and we just want to talk about the options.
I'm a fan now.
You're a fan now for 2 years, yeah? We're going to see you for 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I got an A3 visa for 2 years minimum, so I'll renew it if I need it.
Man, I'll see you. All right, okay, let's get to a good topic for you. 2023, Archerfield, Australian title?
Yes, very familiar.
Talk me through that weekend. So that was a great weekend with you guys rocking up there with Fitzpatrick, Larry Fitzpatrick, Auto Sports?
Yes.
Yeah, LFA, yes. those guys, as soon as that thing rolled out of the trailer, I wasn't out. I saw photos. Looked $1,000,000. You guys looked very calm, relaxed, and you just went to do your job, which was perfect. Talk me through it.
That's pretty much every night with these guys. Like, no one ever makes a fuss. That's another reason why I probably get in a lot of rides. It's not necessarily because I probably am the best driver at the time. I just try to handle it with the professional attitude. Well, sometimes it doesn't happen. I do lose it, and I will admit it. But we're human, and that happens. But like, instead of coming in kicking and screaming and stuff's not going right, we always just put our head down and go again. Like Larry doesn't put any pressure. What he expects us to win, but he's not putting any real external pressure on us to do it. He knows that we all put our heads together, and Gary does his job, Sean does his job, Gav does his job. If we all do that, we're going to put a good night together, and it gelled so well. You probably don't know this, Andrew, but I've known the Fitzpatrick since I was 8 years old. So So when I first started karting, Gary was the president of the Yarra Valley Speedway Kart Club.
Okay.
And he would have been probably my age back then. And yeah, I don't actually know how old he was, but yeah, he would have been close to my age. And yeah, I was only 8 years old, always. And then Gary, he actually moved over here for a bit. And then they wanted to build a wingless team. And yeah, I eventually got to drive it. But yeah, and I come over here in 2015 with him, and we did this RV life. So that was my sort of story before Archerfield, but before I drove for him. But yep. Archerfield, same deal. It's just business as usual. I'm lucky I have a lot of laps around there and other classes. I have one dirt mod race there, and I won the Paul Britain, which is a very big dirt mod race. Same exact fashion I won that national title, just rolling the bottom.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, no, we show up to win every time, and we just always try just business as usual. That's how our motto is. We never kick up a fuss, and yeah, we just do our job and let the results show.
So through that course of that weekend, at what point did you think you guys were sitting good there? Like, was it through the prelims? Because, you go through your heats, and your heats are seated with anybody, right? So
yeah,
sometimes you got good, bad, whatever. The prelim is where you get sort of a taste of where you're going to be sitting for the final night, as long as you still continue to execute and go forward. But was it around the prelim time that you thought, okay, sussing out everyone around you, like Scott Thompson, obviously extremely talented guy, very fast, Jacob Jolly, who else was up there? Jason Bates was up there.
He was up there. I think Tyson was up there for a bit, Rylan Furler.
Yeah, Furler was there. Yeah. Mark, yeah, you had, yep. So
it was. I think I remember that prelim. The first 10 cars within a tenth of a second. It was ridiculous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, but, so then go night two.
Night two was bad. People think it was just flawless, but it was bad.
So what happened through your heats there on night two?
So I'll actually go back to night one. When I sort of thought I knew we were good, I aim for I sort of know the 3-heat format a bit, just with our state titles, and Gippsland used to always be 3-heat formats. And if you always had a first, sort of a second, or 2 first, or a first or a second, and a middle-ish, you sat really good. I just thought how the track was. It was narrow. I'm like, first, second, fifth. Let's see how we go there. That's my goal. I got first, second, and sixth. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that might be top 6. And I roll up to the board, and I'm second. I'm like, okay, we might be sitting good here.
Yep.
And then feature race come around. We're all pretty much even. And my car was really doughy, like really bad. We're pretty sensitive to gear. But we were really doughy. And I'm like, we're keeping up with them, and I'm really bad. So we are sitting really good here. So yeah, that was really good confidence into night 2. But as soon as we started up after maintenance on night 2, flex plate literally cracked all the way around. And yeah, actually Blido bailed us out, and I think Thomas bailed us out, McDonald as well. I don't remember who gave us the flex plate, but it might have been Blido, because he probably had one half apart changing an engine. I remember that.
Yeah, an expensive one too. Yeah.
But yeah, I was pretty much getting the motor changed, motor out, because we have a hoist in that trailer. We were pretty much getting the motor out to change it all, because it was just the only way you could do it. We didn't take it all the way out. We slide it forward, put the long bolts in, slide it forward, pop it out, slide it underneath, put it back in from underneath. well, looking good till Gary forgot to put the torque ball back on, and then we had to take it all apart again. And it was the point that thrashing to put stuff together, barely slapping panels on. I'm in my gear having to do track pack just to make sure it runs. And it didn't at first because the injectors we put in were blocked. They were fresh injectors.
Yep.
So we chucked. I'm like, Gary, it ran fine. Just put the old ones in because Gary don't get flustered too much, but he was freaking out a little bit. And yeah, he pretty much yeah. Then the last heat we only got ran over. Lucky if I started fourth, I would have been in the fence probably. And I was sort of unlucky with that because I lost so many spots and had to get it all back. But we went probably from second in points back to fifth, and it was sort of like, well, we lost that a little bit, and pretty much the feature come around, and it's I know the place well enough. I knew everyone would get a false sense of security that the top would be there because it happened in the dirt mods a lot. You can carry the top there really good in a wing car, but you can not carry it in a non-wing car where you just have tire traction. Because I remember watching wing races there, and I'd see this wing cars just smash the hell out of the top, like just flog it all night. Looked great. Cushion was like gnarly there too. It looked really good.
Yep.
But the thing is, as well, it was April, so the dew was coming up, making the cushion wetter.
Yep.
So I went up and touched it once on the roller, and I'm like, "That's stupid. I'm not touching that."
Really?
And then
wow.
I'm like, I'll scout the whole racetrack before I start the ride. Like, you barely see anyone with me come down and tell me who's running where, and that's a little bit of American experience. Is I'll go out and feel the whole thing out myself, and try to figure it out. But anyway, I felt that little bit of moisture on the bottom. I'm like, I think this is it, and I'm like, I just put in my head, I'm like, Paul Britton 44 off the gas halfway down the straightaway, right front and in, and everyone was fighting for the top those first 5 laps.
Yep.
I'm like, I got to be careful here. If I get them too early and try to poke my nose, they'll all move down. So thankfully I got them all in one go and just played defensive the rest of the race. And that's how it rode. But that car's made for that stuff. It just rolls around. DRC chassis. It's cars we run over here. They're gripped up, really gripped up cars. So it loves that slick, slow stuff. Always goes forward. Yeah. Night to remember, that's for sure. I remember the whole race.
Yeah, I remember watching that because again I was away for that one, working offshore somewhere, and Tyson was in the A man. I think he finished fourth, but obviously behind
really
you
well.
guys. But I was extremely happy to hear or see you guys get that one and see the team afterwards too on the podium. I thought that was great.
You get to see the emotion of Larry, how much it meant to him. So
man, he was happy as
He called me like twice or 3 times that week before I went to America because he was coming over too, and he just thanked me like every time he called me.
Really? I think that's where the saying came from. He was happy as Larry. No, he was extremely happy, and
Larry's always happy.
Yeah, no, I had a good chat with him.
Except with Larry's lightning tours, don't be late.
There you go.
So if you say
I had a good chat with him at Lismore on one of the nights. I don't know where you were, but I don't think you were with him. But it was one of the nights they sort of hung back and hang with the riffraff. All the guys staying at the track there. We had a chat.
We stayed at Evans Head, so we were with my family. I was with my family. So.
Yeah. So talk to me about Lismore. So you went to Lismore, the Australian Championship. Again, another track you've raced that many times.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't done well, but I've raced there.
Yeah. And it was good seeing your sister there as well. She was driving I don't know, do you call it the family car or her car?
It's sort of her car.
Dad's
car.
Yep.
Yeah. Her car, she'll get upset with me.
No? Okay, yeah, let's not do that. She'll come. No, and I thought that was really good, like how I walked past your pit area there and like, you had her car, your car, and Chris Tammy's car all lined up. And she got into was it her got into a wreck at one stage? I know you ended up upside down at one stage there, but just watching just the 3 teams working together, I thought was just amazing. Like that's part of wingless racing, I think, is the teamwork off the track.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like family, so it was always going to happen. Tembies are like family to us too, so it's pretty much sort of call it a big family deal, really.
Yep.
That's what a lot of people just don't know about our relationship with the Fitzpatricks. Like, I'm not just a hired driver for them. Like while I have expectations, I am sort of family to them as well. They've always taken care of me, and it's just how we are. So. Yeah, I even jumped over, helped them a lot because I felt good all the time. I just got out and said, "Car's good, guys." I just screwed up, and yeah, I just
So,
kept helping Eb get better. And
so talk to us about
when my
your
dad
wreck.
listens.
What happened with your wreck?
It's just DRC things, bud. DRCs as they are. When you're on the right rear, so the thing is, everyone thinks, oh, it's a non-wing, it must be really good. It is, and like Australia 1, it must be an amazing race car drive. It is, but it bites you on the ass, and you have to earn it. It bites you on the ass, and that's exactly what it did there. I pushed a little past the envelope, getting a little frustrated, and the I don't know if you know much about ladder geometry, but the ladders are sort of skewed in a little more on them, and they load the ladder up harder. And yeah, she grabbed the ladder, and I saved it, but it broke the arm when it landed and flew up even higher. And I thought it was going to be like cage first in the fence and maybe a trip to the hospital, but thankfully I landed high enough. I hit the mesh, and probably the halo did its job and all that too. So I was pretty lucky there. And yeah, it was just driving the thing 110% when I really didn't need to. Just had a really bad start. Track was heavy. We tried some stuff with the car that was just it was dynamite, but it was on edge, and that's what we were trying to get. Like that first year I ran the 2, or a lot for the 2. We ran up Eastern Creek a lot. I'd always come in and say, car's awesome, but it's on edge, like all the time on edge. I felt like it was going to crash me at any point. It's just how they are. I can't describe it. They're just a very gripped up race car, and that's what happened. And Lismore, you never off the right rear, and went in a 3-2 hard, jumped over a crease, left rear come off the ground, and up she went.
Yeah. I was a bit concerned about that one because I didn't know how much damage you guys did. I obviously knew with the all the infrastructure of that team, the LFA team, as well as your family team, your dad and your sister bring to the track. You obviously had enough parts there, but was the chassis hurt? That's what sort of a lot of people think.
It actually wasn't.
Yeah,
it actually wasn't that big of a rollover.
I spoke to you after. It just looked pretty big, but I spoke to you afterwards, and you sort of explained to me, "No, you're all right, and the car's okay." And, now,
all it did was break Heim joint on the arm when it landed the first time, and it bent the beam when it dug in.
Was that it?
Yep.
Jeez. Yeah. Right.
And the one thing I'll take for granted, because it railed out so hard, my sharp insert saved me good. I got a sharp seat insert.
Yep.
Yeah. If I didn't have that, I think I wouldn't have been over here. Let's just say that.
I think, well, that's a good point. I think a lot of people take the seats a little bit too much for granted. They don't realise these inserts when you put them in, what they can actually do for your body, especially on those
headrests as well are a big thing too.
Yep.
Headrests, like there's been a few guys concussed just from bad headrests this year. Just the old Butler built style. Even the new ones can sort of do it. I've dampened to a minor just so they're a bit better, but yeah. If you're banging the headrest all day, it's not good. Like bouncing off it, it needs to sort of just get in there and sit. So wingless are hardest to do it. They're the hardest to hold your head left. I don't care what anyone says. V6 wingless. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
V8 wingless. I struggle to hold my head down because they're wheeling all the time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's a good. Okay. Thanks very much for that point. At Lismore too, you got to do something no one else has done, and that is you got to roll around in an army tank. Well. Army tank, army vehicle of some
sort. They called it a truck tank, or I forgot what they called it, but that was really cool.
How badass was that?
Yeah, I got goosebumps too because all the crowd was getting into it. Like the Sours do, like I've known the Sours through dirt mod stuff for the last 10 years, and they've what they've done to Lismore is like I hate to say it, and they know it themselves, the track sort of lets it down a little bit. And that's nothing against them. They know they've got their hands tied with the showgrounds there. It's such a unique place, but the show they put on is second to none. And that was, goosebumps. I nearly dropped the trophy once. I was
going to ask, how did you go with that trophy? You hold it up there?
I nearly
You're trying to wave?
Sorry, Jolly, I nearly dropped it on you. But, it was pretty cool. Ebony was driving the car too. We didn't really tell anyone that, but Eb was driving the car, and Gary we were in the first heat, so Gary was getting like, "Come on, we got to get back in. We've got to stop this and get the car going." But that's typical crew chief stuff.
Watching it from the side fence like we were, and I mean, you guys were pitted down from me, so I saw you walk past or something like that. I saw you go somewhere, and then I seen the car go past, and I was like, "Hang on!" But I saw her suit. And that's when I realised, okay. And I thought, it's actually pretty good. I've watched some interviews with you two from the past with like Wade and stuff, and you and Ebony have a really good relationship, good sibling relationship there. Really, I think very supportive.
Yeah.
If your head's getting too big, she's quickly to put a pin in it and bring you back down to reality and stuff, which is really good. But
Yeah.
to see her driving that car in front of you, I thought, if Lloydie's not an emotional man, he probably should have had a tear in his eye, because I thought that was a beautiful moment for the family, for the Hobson family, for what you guys did. And as you said, with the way the crowd were, I've mentioned this on a few other episodes, how I was blown away by that. Was completely just wingless. Wingless. You guys were the stars. You
Yep.
guys were everything that weekend. I was amazed with the amount of kids walking past with checkered flags, or I don't know. Some just asked, Tyson and other drivers nearest to sign their daily shirts. Like, it was completely exceeded all expectations from me anyway. But I just, that picture of you rolling around in that army tank, I don't think I'll forget that for a long time. That was pretty cool. That was badass, man.
Yeah, it was. When they told me I was doing it, I'm like, what? Because
Yeah.
they told me on Thursday I was doing it. I'm like, are you kidding me?
So, hell yeah.
And,
did you ask for a gun?
Yeah. They have one in there. They're like, well, that's what they said. They're like, you're up there where the machine gun is. I'm like, okay, righto.
Yeah, nice.
And like, they had it pristine in there, and I felt bad getting me muddy shoes on it. But they said, no, that's all good. Don't worry about it. But that was a real cool moment. Lismore, like, that's why Lou was one of my comments on my way home. Like, they made everyone feel like superstars.
Yep.
And like, I've even seen like the fanfare over here. Like, a lot of these USAC shows don't even get into that. Like,
really?
That's how well they've done it. Yes. Yeah. The thing is, they're getting over here. They're still in the culture of it's a race, not a show. So,
okay.
Places like Eldora and all that, a little bit of an exception. Like, but a lot of like your Lincoln Parks and SmackDown is good. Kokomo, they do a great job, pretty similar to that.
Yep.
But a lot of them tracks around here don't really embrace the show part of it. They think putting some fireworks on calls it a show when it's not.
Well, don't get me wrong. Lismore had some pretty cool pyrotechnics as well. Like,
Yes,
they
did.
That was badass. Like, just the driver intros walking through.
Yes, and that's what I want to bring up. I was the first to go out, and I was like, I'm like, what the hell?
So hang on. Okay, all right.
See my face. My eyes just light up. It's
glad
hilarious.
you brought it up. So, did you know that's what you were walking out to?
Not to that extent. I knew I was doing something like that, but I didn't know it was like fireworks flying out everywhere.
Okay, who came and told you? Or they come up and they're like, all right, Todd. And they got everyone together, like, you're going to walk through here. Like, who was the person telling you that? Was it Wade?
They sort of said it. They said it in the drivers' meeting.
Okay.
And then they sort of just come and got everyone.
Because to me, that was very maybe a Wade thing to do. And
I'd call it Lismore.
So it was Lismore. I thought it was Wade.
Wade probably had something to do with it too. That's because
he's
not taking anything away from him.
Yeah, he's got like his imagination is just incredible. And when I saw that, I thought, I wonder if that's Wade. I'm thinking he's sending these people through this curtain. They're thinking, what's going on here? And then you just get flash, and there was fans there yelling and screaming, or not yelling, but screaming and cheering. And
there were lots of kids there.
Oh yeah,
Wade definitely got the crowd involved.
Yeah. Now, okay, here's one for you. Actually,
getting a bit dark here.
Getting a bit dark over there. Yeah. Actually, what you're wearing on your head right now. So I've sort of mentioned it before. That was one of your heat wins. How many hats did you get that weekend?
This isn't my heat wins. I'm actually an ambassador for Wide Open.
Oh, so there you go.
I did get 2 hats though.
You got 2 hats? All right. So a lot of people actually not a lot, but I've spoken with Jacob Jolly as well, and I think I might have to go back and double check, but I have a feeling you guys
might have got 3, I reckon.
I reckon you're wearing the same hat. I think you're wearing the exact same hat. Yeah, I think.
Well, I got this one given to me, so I didn't get this one for a heat win. So
no,
Ashley and Dan gave it to me for to bring over here. So
no, he got his. He wore his Australian title one. So I don't know which one's better, but yeah, Wide Open. What they did was, I thought, awesome. Like when Tyson came back after his heat win, and we're there talking, this hat appeared, and I'm like, where'd you get that from? I'm thinking, well, you've gone from the track to through the pits. What, you've gone past their merchandise trailer and picked me up a hat. Thanks, man. But what the... And he's like, oh, no, they give it for hat wins. I'm like, man, this is awesome. This is awesome. Like, this is the best.
Yeah.
So we collected them. And so I think what Wide Open did as far as, those little promotional gifts, everyone I spoke to loved them. Obviously, you do. You're an ambassador.
Yes, I did.
mate,
I wear them pretty much everywhere.
you want to give us a plug, and what's your discount code?
I think it's T Hobson 10. I'd have to double check, but I think that's what it is.
T
You put
Hobson
me on the
10.
spot
All
there.
right, so there you go.
Yeah,
I might use that.
10.
I need to buy a couple of them. So yeah, I thought that whole weekend, including the whole wide open clothing there, was fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but talking about a few things. So when you go from Australia racing to overseas, the shows, the dedication, that sort of stuff, as you're mentioning, who's putting on a show. How far off the mark was that Lismore event to what you've seen over in the States, you personally?
I mean, if you're thinking, I'm not going to talk scale. I'm just going to talk I don't even know what word do I use here. Not to the same extent of scale, but to the same extent of effort. I'd definitely say King's Royal.
Yeah, right. King's Royal.
Yes. Well, think about it. They had every box ticked off. Fireworks. They had the fire. They had the driver intros. They had the show. They had me in a tank truck, for God's sakes. All they were missing was the life flight helicopter in case someone ballparked it. And, hauling ass at 130 mile an hour.
No, that's true. All right. What about this one? So next season, we're not going to have you, unfortunately, at Mildura. You've raced.
Not sure yet, but I don't think so.
Okay, keep that open then. All right, no worries. You've raced there before. We've raced against you there before. You've been very fast around there. What do you think Mildura can do? Do you think they can, beat Lismore's attempt or be as good, or what do you reckon?
Timmins is my favourite track in Australia.
Yep, it's an awesome place. Love it.
So the racing would be absolutely phenomenal if they can get that bottom to slow down, because the thing we know, and the thing that I noticed there was, it wasn't so much in the wing cars. The wing cars, when I ran there, just kept sweeping up. But when the wingless got to the middle, they dug a hole out and they just stayed in the hole all night. If they can stop that and get that little steep transition out of it, you need the progressive banking. That's what a lot of Australian tracks, that's why I asked you about Goulburn, where they're putting the banking. If they're flattening the bottom, opening the top up. But that track will race phenomenal. I know Timmins will put on a great event. I don't know if it'll have the Hollywood feel like Lismore do, but it'll be the town will get behind it the exact same way.
I think the town will get behind it. I think they're going to try their best, but I'm not taking anything away from Mick and Kim. I think they did a fantastic job with that Australian title. That was just for what they had. Okay, so we're on the same path there. We think it's going to be a great event, and it'll be good to see you back. It would be good to see you. I think you're one of the best that Australia's got in wingless, so it would be awesome to have you there. Just give us a quick one. I'd like to touch on a bit of controversy. People are talking about stuff. Over there, what tyres do you run on over there?
We are on medium ones. So medium one is, I wish I had a Duro, but I think they're right up in the 50s. Honestly, everything over here is tyre prep in terms of not doping them at all, because you get in big trouble for doing that.
Yep.
But local stuff is a bit fast and loose, so you can get away with it. But I don't do it. And I'm talking sipe and grooving, because you have to get that rock of a tyre to heat up so damn quick. Otherwise, you're going to get freight trained by someone who's already got heat in it because they cut it up like fuck, to be really honest. Hope you don't mind a little bit of swearing, but I didn't mean that.
No, it's fine.
But,
we're just using subtitles. You've got an American accent now. No, you don't. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah. But anyway, I've actually got some American races to use for Paragon, because that's an open tyre, so I'm going to try them and see how they compare. But honestly, people forget as well we do less laps. But that medium one we're running the same right rear tyres. So John's a bit underfunded in a way, in terms of limited with his gear. So we only have a 4 off and a 5 off, which a lot of teams usually have a 4, 5 and a 6, or 2 5s and a 4, but we only have 2 wheels, 2 right rear wheels. We're still on the same 2 tyres from Eldora.
Is that because of finances, or is that because you just simply, there's no point in putting on a new tyre?
Why do you need to when it's still got crosses on it?
Okay.
And we've cut it right up, it's siped. So it's a new Hoosier block, so it's got the 4 holes cut across the middle, siped twice on each side. So that's pretty cut up.
Yeah.
Just to get to fire, because that's what you have to do. I learned that the hard way. The first feature at Eldora, I just sat there waiting for the thing for 4 laps, and I lost 6 spots in 4 laps.
Really? Wow.
Because the tyre just wouldn't fire.
So being between I know you haven't driven Well, have you driven on a tyre that's soft as like a WAV or a
Yeah.
SD38 over here? On
Over
the
there, yeah.
on your
I
410
drove.
there?
Yeah. No. You can't run them. You're not allowed.
Like what I'm trying to say, because you got that open tyre rule. Have you been on sort of a tyre like
Oh
that
yeah.
with that?
No one does it. You don't need to.
No, don't need to. No point. So
No
I
one
mean,
tries to. It's not really because the thing is as well. You got heat fall off, so it doesn't really. I actually noticed a little with the Fitz car this year. You can get the soft tires so hot they just fall over.
Yeah.
So they only got a temperature range they operate in. You probably know that with the karting stuff. But that's what a lot. I seen someone run an SD38 at Paragon the other night, and yeah, they got halfway through the heat and the tire turned to jelly. So it just I just think everyone's on the medium and the SC12, which is the left rear they have over here, and it's really just a H12 with an SC badge on it.
Right.
But everyone's on that just to stay with the same program as USAC, because the thing is what USAC made everyone look, or Brady Bacon especially at Knoxville a few years ago, you could run a H15 or which is it's a bit harder than a WAV. Well, the old WAVs, the new WAVs, they're much harder. But you could either run a H15 or a medium, and Brady won by 6 seconds on a medium.
Yeah, right.
So why would you bother?
Yep.
The H is definitely feel better, but what are you going to learn?
Yeah. No,
and if you stay on the same tire all the time, and the tracks are so different here, and that's the thing everyone says, you should come home and just win all the time. Like, it's a completely different.
Yeah, you should.
I get that a lot. You'd be shocked.
They're a little V6, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, but
Jeez.
like that's just how good our class is. Yeah. But yet again though, it's a completely different discipline over here. Like, it's chalk and cheese. As much as you think it's a sprint car and it's similar, but everything is so different. But yeah.
Do you think the Australian division, Australian Wingless, could benefit with having a harder tyre?
I think so, but the issue is the economics behind it. I think like people there's a little bit of upfront cost getting a medium, for example, but it'll probably rebadge as something if who's you bringing in. But instead of getting the roughest thing, it would be if you put a brand new one and got it flat straight away. That would be the roughest thing.
I think I learned that heartbreak by putting on a brand new tyre one day and nicked it as soon as I put it on with a freaking. I was just putting some cuts in it, just putting some grooves in it, and I nicked it.
Oh, you've even done that. I mean, we're getting run over, but yeah.
No. I didn't even turn a lap. I thought, oh, God.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing that's a bit of heartbreaker for it. But I think if you offset the costs, not having stuff go wrong, it's probably no different, a belt in the wall, killing a wheel, killing a Jacob's ladder. But at the end of the day, that's a little bit different than just popping a used tyre compared to a new tyre.
Yeah.
But I guarantee if the tracks are right, then see another issue we have in Australia, we do too many laps on the racetrack.
Okay, talk to me about that. You mentioned before you guys don't do as many laps. So what's your heat laps?
Well, it's not heat laps. You do 4 laps qualifying in your hot lap group. This is a local show format. So you do 4 laps in your hot lap group. You have to qualify 2. Then you do a 10-lap heat race and a 25-lap, 30-lap feature, and that's it.
So you're saying take away your 2 heat formats, bring in some hot laps.
I don't think the Australian racing would suit that. I think what we have is good, but I'm just saying that will affect it.
I'm going to upset people here, but I do not pay to go to a racetrack to watch like qualifying. I can't stand it.
A lot of people say that.
I can't stand it. I just think, man, this is the biggest waste of time. I'm
Wing
there to
qualifying
watch.
Is a snores fest. I hate to say it.
Yeah, I'd rather see it.
Especially nowadays, the cars are so stuck. Every lap looks the same.
Identical, and then it just nah.
But what's cool is watching a 410 non-wing at a USAC show qualify, because that's different. That's seeing what they can get away with without crashing.
Yeah, and I probably would watch that.
Yes.
And when they read off the full shopping list of sponsors, that you just zone out. But man, I remember like when we sort of pushed hard into the 2-lap qualifying at Parramatta, not for wingless, but for like sprint cars, and I just think, man,
it was so dependent on your night too. But it's the same here in USAC. It's so dependent on your night, but that's why you put so much balls on the line to do it. But wing racing, you just got to be picture perfect. There's a talent in that too, but it's not exciting to watch.
No. Okay, another thing I've got is, so you've been racing over there, you've been over there numerous times. What do you think about the level of Australian drivers in wingless? Do you think if more of them went over, had an opportunity like yourself, we could do something over there, or do you think if maybe what some Americans come over? I mean, we got that American over for that 60 lapper in. Were you there at Murray
Yeah.
Bridge?
Yes, I was. I was actually starting next to Alex Bright in my relay. Shit itself.
Really? So that's what happened to you?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was one of the only ones who freed up. Everyone timed up. I'm like, this track's going to just blow apart. And I freed up.
Yeah. I'm
going
to try and see if I can actually talk to Brett Island about that. But do you think, where do you think our drivers sit with that? I know two different, horses, but do you think there's anything there? Have we got talent over here? I guess what I'm saying.
I think if they can get a control, if they really, really understand shocks and how the 410 engines work, yes, that's the thing though. That's the hardest thing to get your head around. The shocks, because the thing is, a lot of teams will just, especially if you have your own stuff, it's a little different. But you're sort of in a bit of a disadvantage because you don't have the notes. That's why I did what I did and leased a car. But pretty much they said, we'll set up the car, shocks are on you, because they're cockpit adjustable shocks. So you're in charge. So I understood shocks before anyway, thanks to the Densleys.
Yep.
And Fitzpatrick's helped me out a little bit as well. But Densleys, I don't remember the Densleys. Damon Belzen drove for him. They were way ahead of their time. Let's just say that. They built all their own shocks on their own home-built shock dyno.
Yep. My mate Jason Davis has got the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that
thing. And I ran those shocks. They were my shocks for years. Look at that they car. Just sponsor me a set.
Yeah, right. They sponsor you a set.
Yes.
Because I asked him one night. I said, "What are these shocks?" He goes, "Don't know. I just get told." I'm like,
they're QA ones.
Yes.
Yeah. They're not, and that's if I did it again, wingless, I'd be on a twin tube CSI or QA1.
Really?
Yes.
There we go. I actually spoke to.
I can't afford FK boys like you, bud.
Man, come on. I was only doing it because Isaac Ruse was our shot guy, and I thought it was great then, you know what I mean? It was great dealing with Isaac.
They are.
Loved it.
FK twin tubes are the best shocks you can get.
Yeah, no, come with a price tag, bud. Come with a price tag.
Yes, they do. That's right.
Yeah. What were you saying? So,
and I'm a CSI fanboy, so I shouldn't say that, but that's just my opinion. But yeah, anyway, back to your question. Look, if they can get their head around the shocks, you really have to do a lot of research. I'm an engineer by trade, so I'm a nerd. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I'm not saying anyone else isn't, but the amount of research I did to race over here was staggering. I knew a lot of the guys, how they raced before I even come here. I race in Culls, but those cars handle terrible. They actually, I don't know, they handle a little better here, the actual cars, but you just got to, I think a lot of them have the right thing in their head, but the thing is what a lot of Australian tracks have is when you're searching for a right rear with the grip, that's sort of what Australia is. In America, it feels like you're getting a third of that. And if you miss it, that's like hitting the cushion. The guys at Parramatta would be really good because the cushions, that's what taught me to run a cushion. The hardest thing is horsepower. But a lot of the drivers in terms of their racecraft, and that's the best thing about wingless racing, yes. But horsepower, the nature of the racing, a lot of wingless guys are very aggressive, and just car setup is so important, feedback is so important. I think that's the hardest thing, and really understanding what you got in terms of the car and shocks. So if they can tick all them boxes, yes.
They can do it, yeah. No, that's because I sort of think maybe some
a couple
more.
of try.
Yeah, it'd be good to see some more try. I mean, Jacob Jolly.
And his lap too.
He's won a lot, and I'd like to see what he could do over there. I don't know I forgot to ask him. You mentioned about in-car adjustable shocks.
I think with his left rear setup, I think he might do a backflip though.
Yeah, well, that's insane.
They look cool as shit though.
That's
insane.
Just how
it twist up. But yeah, I don't know how the thing don't bind up, but credit to him.
What do you think about in-car adjustable shocks? Do you reckon we should implement it over here? I started talking about that not long ago. No?
No.
Why is that?
We don't need it. We don't need it. The cars don't move enough.
Yeah, but you drive. It takes forever to get down that that straight there because you're in the V6, you're in the taxi.
You
got something to play with. Just your cup holder.
Maybe you need a cup holder. That's all I said.
Put your Spotify.
That's what I said at the fit. Yeah, I said at the Fitzes when I got back around the 410s the first time. Like, man, I need a cup holder because I need something to do.
That would have been awesome to put a cup holder in. No, okay, fair enough. So you say we don't need it because Yeah, a lot of people are thinking about the tyre wear over here. We're trying to think of ways to reduce tyre wear as much as
I
possible.
think the racing will be better as well with the harder tyre too, because they'll spin them more.
Yeah,
and I think
that
that's
is
what
true.
wears them out, because we spin them like hell on these things, but they don't wear out.
Don't wear
You tell
out.
me.
Yeah. Did you see that?
That's how you get down the straightaway. You just wheel spin the whole way.
Did you see that video from Troy Carey?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get on. Troy actually I actually helped him fix his car the other night.
Oh, there
He
you
actually
go.
come to our shop, so he flipped at Paragon on Friday. We're in the
Oh,
same B main because my drag link broke.
Yep.
I would have been probably top 3 in the A main, but my drag link broke while leading the heat race. But so I was in the B. Troy started in the front row and had a big flip, and yeah, I helped him fix the car. We got Terry the tyre back in.
Yeah, so Terry's still good. He's okay.
Terry's still good. He's
Oh,
ready to
that's
rip.
good.
He
That's
got a
good.
little gash on him, but he got cut up a little bit. But no,
He's
he's
all
all
right.
good.
Because I think every video he shared, it actually is not cut or psyched.
No, he hasn't cut or side.
No.
He just sort of plods around anyway. Like he's on the gas. Like Troy's on the gas. Like don't get him wrong, but yeah, like I cut mine off just to get that extra little bit. But
Yep.
How's it cut up? But see, he has an old medium on. So the old so I don't know if you remember Let's Race 2 at Eldora in May. The all those tires delaminating.
Yep.
6 that delaminated. So when that happened, I was 7th in the feature. I'm like, hell yeah, 7th in the feature. And that's when my tire didn't fire. And I went back to 14th.
Oh.
But anyway, and they probably got on top of me in shock adjustments too. See, that's another thing.
Yep.
That adds cost, all that stuff, because an adjustable shock is, as you know, is so expensive to fix. But anyway, so they were all old mediums. So they were last year's mediums. So anyway, because they cut them all up, and I always just thought the solution is, oh, well, just don't cut them up enough. Well, that's not it. Racers don't want to do that. So Hoosier come out with that weekend a medium 1, and that thing is, it doesn't really feel harder, like in terms of racing on it, but man, the things last even longer than a medium without blowing up. Usually with the USAC tires, they don't wear out; they blow apart.
Right.
So they'll blister. They'll just chunk and blister because you're siping and cutting them up so much they just fall apart. But they get to the point they were delaminating, and it was pretty gnarly to see Justin Grant's car's rear end bouncing up and down like this, right past you as you drove past. But yeah, I don't even think any cockpit adjusters are needed. Like, I tried gas on my car last year because I was just struggling through the holes with the DRC, and the car felt shit. It felt terrible. There was no leverage in the track, so I don't think gas shocks are needed. Like, it wasn't even an aggressive gas shock. Like, it wasn't anything you'd run on something over here. It was I'd run on a wing car, like, same deal. It was a FK gas Evo, and it just didn't need it.
Yeah, right.
I dropped a lot of gas. I dropped it down to 20 psi gas pressure, and it did nothing.
Right.
Just sat on top. Yeah.
Okay.
I just couldn't feel it in the racetrack. So yeah, if anyone out there, we won an Oz title on dirty old small body AFCOs. So
don't say that. Don't say that. You do have people who do want to fight that battle. Let's not start there.
I know that. I know this. Yeah, I know. No comment on that.
No. Yeah. All right. Look, I'll wrap it up quickly. But last one is: do you think of any other ways that Australian Wingless can move forward, like as far as with their promotion or their events? Do you think we need to bring like, for example, in New South Wales, I know we don't have any blue ribbon events, and so we're sort of looking at ways to perhaps bring back blue ribbon events or name events. So you got like the SummerSlam series down in Victoria, you had King of the Ring up in Toowoomba, and the Thai Bill series and stuff like. Like, do you think Wingless need those big events? Do we need more of them? We've got enough. Like,
I think it's a pretty good place at the moment. The thing is, we just got to take care of everyone in the economy right now with fuel prices and all that. But I think the class is moving in the right direction with the WoW series and all that. Yeah, my only gripe, really, I don't really have one. I think the class is going a good way. I can't comment. I just want to bring infield tyres back. But that's not a Speedway Australia thing. That's another topic all on its own.
Yeah,
or something to keep. Yeah. I was griping about that the first show I come back. But yeah, it's definitely been tricky running over here with him again. I've clipped him a few times because I'm like, oh shit, tyre. But I full clip front ends. Like, I think I've clipped them 3 times.
oh wow.
Yeah, but I think the WoW series is a really good move. We needed that again. It probably would have had good momentum if COVID didn't happen anyway. We'd probably still be doing it. The Super Series, whatever they called it back then.
Yeah, Super Series.
we need the local racing. That needs to stay strong to keep the, like, that's my biggest worry if we go to V8s is you take away the weekend racer, because that's where all your numbers come from.
Yep.
And that's the best thing about this class. That's why Peter Logue runs it every week. That's why I like to race them every week. Like, I could just go run sprint cars if I wanted, but I love running wingless. I love running for the Fitzpatricks. And honestly, I just love racing with my mates too. That was probably the funnest race this year was Lang this year, just a club show. I did win it, which was always why you like them. But I was running 1, 2, 3 with me, but 3 best mates, so that was good fun. So
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, that's good. That's good. No,
Yeah.
look, man, I really appreciate you giving a couple of minutes or an hour or whatever it is of your time to talk to us.
I'll keep you hammering if you want me to.
Yeah, I wanted to get out there and have a look at your workshop. Maybe if we can arrange a catch up another time to have a look. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
And I'll
That's
touch base with you another time and give us a quick walkthrough on what your car is and that sort of stuff. But look, hey, yeah, Todd, thank you very much, man. Good luck to you over there, what you do. Keep us all informed. We all love your videos. Now we know why we haven't seen so many videos for a while, so we look forward to the next one. So when's your next race?
I don't actually know at the moment. Probably a couple races of sprint week in the Wingo 77. So the 44 broke a crank. The Burnt was only a 1 weekend deal. Everyone's like, oh, you got fired. No, I didn't.
No.
That was a 1 weekend deal. And when Jaden Rogers gets fired, who's a USAC national driver, you're going to put him in over me, aren't you? So yeah, that put those rumors to rest. I was going to run the big motor shows with John's car, so that was going to be Kokomo, Lawrenceburg, Terre Haute, but that's probably not going to happen. So we might just pick and choose a couple of the other races with the Wingo 77 and see how we go. So I'm out of it this weekend. We got Joey Amantia from Pennsylvania in the Wingo car, so I'm just going to go crew.
Yep.
But I'll be back in that probably sometime on sprint week, so you'll catch it on flow.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you again, and good luck to you. And we'll be in touch shortly, right? But yeah. Oh, look, hey, before I go, anyone still watching? You got any sponsors you want to thank for helping you make this deal happen for you being over there again?
Yeah. Easy Print, CTR Truck Sales. They've been my 2 biggest partners. My dad always helps me out. Local print shop, BF Car Carriers. I have to look at my suit now. You put me on a memory bank here. I nearly got them. Henchman Racing Uniforms. I got Bell on board sort of half now. Speed Parlor, of course.
Speed Parlor, yes.
Yeah. Ramsdale Wreckers. Cannot forget Ramsdale Wreckers.
Yep.
Russell's a legend. He does a lot for sedan racing, actually. So if you look at any sedan down south, 1 in 2 of them will have Ramsdale Wreckers on them.
Yeah, right.
Every single one. Not even joking.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of Endurico, and yeah, that's pretty much a lot of them there. Got Drew Fab as well. He's over here. He's helping me run the 44 car, and he's sort of partnering with me a little bit as well. Yeah, hopefully some good things in the future. Sorry about the mess behind me. I'm renovating in my house, but yeah, hopefully some good stuff in the future. Wide Open as well. Can't forget them.
Wide Open. No, great people. Wide Open. Yep.
Yeah. And I got RO Sport Vision as well. He's helped me with my eyes.
Yep.
We've had left eyes going a bit crap. It was sort of on its way out, but that crash at Bloomington made it really bad with my depth perception. And yeah, it's like I can't really even focus it anymore. So yeah, that's a thing not to get 410s in Australia. There you go.
There you go. All right, there you heard it from the man himself. All right, Todd, thank you again. You have a great night. Stay safe, and we'll be in touch shortly to have a look at your race shop if you can.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
All right, you take care. Thanks very much, everyone, for tuning in for episode 4. Stay tuned for episode 5 coming up. And, yeah, we'll talk to you then. Thank you.
No worries.